The best thing about Japan, I think China, Korea or Japan. For me personally, it would be easiest. This is the only A5 Wagyu T-bone steak in Japan.
Thank you for our cooperation. Where are you from?
I'm from the Netherlands.
Do you live here or are you a tourist?
I'm a tourist here. I live in the Netherlands and I'm here just traveling around.
How long do you stay in Japan?
Around 10 days, and this is my final day, unfortunately. Tomorrow morning I'm leaving again.
Where did you go in Japan?
I started out in Osaka, and then I went to Kyoto, and then went back to Osaka, and then I just arrived a few days ago here in Tokyo.
What brought you to Japan?
Honestly, the food. I really love Japanese food, and it's more authentic and more flavorful, and most importantly, I think also more fresh and cheaper here than what we can get in the Netherlands for the same kind of foods. So that's why I'm here.
Is this your first time coming to Japan?
No, actually it's my second time. My first time was around 9 years ago, and I did the same itinerary basically. I went to Osaka, Kyoto and Tokyo as well. But back then was a different experience. Now I'm traveling alone. Back then I was with a friend, and back then my Japanese was a lot poorer than now. And back then people also didn't speak English as much as now, so it was quite difficult to get around. But what I remembered was I liked everything, and the food was amazing, so that's why I'm back.
Before you come to Japan, did you know that Japanese food are good?
Oh yeah. Because we already have Japanese food in the Netherlands as well, and I watched quite a lot of anime back then, and usually they always show you some Japanese food as well, like Naruto always eats ramen. So because of that, I was kind of into trying out the foods that were shown on TV and anime. I just wanted to know if it was much better in Japan, like other people said, and I think they were right.
May I see your photos that you take in Japan?
Yeah, sure. Like, how should I do this? For example, I saw this arcade, the stuffed animal, and a friend of mine told me, I'm not sure if this is true, but the name of this animal is Dirty Bear. I don't know, because it looks like the pink is like a dirty pink instead of pink.
Did you try to catch it?
No, because I suck at it. And I don't play a rigged game. I'm a numbers guy, so if the numbers don't add up, I don't do it. And then I went to Shibuya Crossing, went to a rooftop to get a sky view, but it wasn't that busy as I remembered from 9 years ago. I think most of the tourists are not in Tokyo right now, but they are all in Kyoto and in Osaka. So, because it was a lot more crowded there.
There's no crowded places like Shibuya in the Netherlands?
Maybe Amsterdam. Yeah, I ate at a restaurant. This was the main dish. The restaurant is called T Nakameguro, and the chef is quite famous, I think. And I was very lucky to get a seat at this table because I didn't have a reservation, and I couldn't get a reservation because they were fully booked months in advance. So what I did was I just sent them an email begging them, like, is there any way you could fit me in? Like, I let them know when I was in Tokyo, and I asked them, like, can you fit me in anywhere? And luckily they could. And this is the only A5 Wagyu T-bone steak in Japan. This is the only one. That's the only one. They're the only ones who are allowed to serve this. And it's the best meat I've ever had.
Wow, it looks so delicious and expensive.
It wasn't that expensive.
Oh, really?
Like, relatively speaking. Let me show you the T-bone. This was the T-bone steak.
Wow. Looks so good.
This is the owner, the chef. I was especially lucky because today he is traveling to Vienna. And he's staying in Vienna for a couple of days. So they're gonna close the restaurant. And he's staying in Vienna to do a cooking competition. So that's why I'm quite lucky to be able to have a seat.
So lucky, yeah.
So I would recommend everyone to go there if they have the time, and also if they're lucky.
Yeah, you have a lot of photos of food.
Yeah, and anime. Maybe I have some food from. I also have Shin-chan.
Yeah.
It's a fan favorite, I think.
Shinchan is
Everyone knows-
famous in that.
Everyone knows Shin-chan, also
Yeah.
in the Netherlands.
Do you watch that animation in the TV show?
Yeah. I've watched a lot when I was little.
Is it satellite channel?
Yeah, but I think a lot of small naughty boys can relate with Shin-chan.
Maybe one more or two more.
Let's see. Maybe I should show you Kyoto, like a castle in Kyoto, Nijo Castle, I think.
Sure, yeah. Do you like to travel alone?
I like traveling alone. I also like traveling with friends as well, but sometimes traveling alone is easier because you're more flexible and there are no time restraints. You can do whatever you want basically. And even if you don't have an itinerary planned, it doesn't really matter because you're not dependent on other people's expectations or other people's needs, so it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I agree. I like traveling alone too.
I think this was the Nijo. Yeah, this was Nijo Castle. But where's a good photo? I don't have a good photo.
It's okay.
I have a photo of the park there.
Park in the Nijo.
Exactly. It was perfect weather that day, and also very crowded. But it was very, let's say, relaxing and calming, and very beautiful. Also the inside, the murals in the palace as well. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to take any photos inside, so I don't have any of those.
So what do you do for a living?
I mainly work for an insurance company, international insurance company. There as an investor relations officer, so I basically am the liaison between our company and analysts and investors. And next to that I also have a part-time job working in a restaurant. Maybe that's why I like food that much. And it's a family-owned restaurant. It's from my parents, so I've always worked there since I was little, so I already know literally everything about the business. And because of that I also do everything in the business, like I cook, I wait tables, I do the finances, everything.
That must be tough.
Yeah, but it helps as well. Like you learn a lot, and it may not seem like it, but it's quite useful what you learn also in other fields in life. Mainly, it teaches you discipline and respect, and I think Japanese people have this in abundance as well, and they learned it even earlier than I do. I think because I think you start learning those things in elementary school here in Japan.
Okay, so please tell us your good memories in Japan.
My good memories. Yesterday the dinner was really nice because not only was the Wagyu A5 T-bone steak amazing, but also I met another Dutch person, by coincidence. He was also traveling around in Asia actually, and I befriended him and we talked a lot, and afterwards we also walked around a little bit. Went to the Sakura Blossom Promenade, and so that's one of the good memories. Also, I met an Ethiopian friend, also talked with her a little bit. She's also traveling around in Asia. She's going to Korea. That's her next destination. And I used to live in Korea for a while, so that's why we exchanged contacts, and so I can give her some tips about surviving there as a tourist. Other good memories. I really liked Osaka, the busy areas like Dotonbori. It was very crowded though, so maybe that wasn't the best kind of experience, but I liked the liveliness of the area. It's a lot different than Tokyo, because Tokyo is more, it seems like people are more focused on work. You see a lot of people wearing suits, all the same black suits, straight out of office. Whereas in Osaka, you see a lot more people wearing like fashionable outfits, talking, laughing, smiling a lot more than what you see in Tokyo. But that's maybe why they say Osaka is the best place to go out, and also it's like the best place to eat, I think, in Japan. That's what they say. And let's give you another one, the last one. Kyoto, I really liked how you have a lot of like small passages and alleys where it's completely different from what you see here in Tokyo or even Osaka. It's a lot more quaint and quiet, and a lot more like what you also see in anime movies, or like movies from let's say Your Name, for example. You see a lot more of those quieter, more rural and more traditional places. And I also saw a lot of children there, which is quite fun as well. Small elementary children, they're all wearing the same outfit, same hats, all playing around. So that was also fun.
You said you've lived in Korea.
Yep.
If you move to another country, which do you choose, Korea or Japan?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like I've actually considered living abroad as well. So let's say China, Korea or Japan. I'm originally Chinese. For me personally, it would be easiest to live in Korea because Korea is also well developed. It also has activities, nightlife that is being offered in Shanghai or like the bigger cities in China, and also in Japan, the bigger cities. Since I lived there for half a year, I feel more comfortable there, and also I know a lot of people there. I still have friends there, so I think it would be easier for me to pick up and start a life there rather than in China or in Japan. In Japan, I think the work culture may be a little bit more stressful than the other two countries, and I think Japanese people are a little bit more difficult to open up to other people, like foreigners or to strangers, let's say. Whereas in China, people are more easy to open up to you, but in China, to build relationships, it's a lot more difficult. It's easier to get to know people, but it's a lot more difficult to get a strong relationship. Because I think people are more self-focused. Because of that, it's more difficult for them to build lasting relationships. Whereas in Korea, it has like a mix of the two, but yeah, it's still easier for me to live there.
Have you experienced any culture shock in Japan?
No. I've been around in Asia, and like I said, I'm Chinese, so I'm Asian. And honestly, not a lot of difference, I think. And I adapt very quickly and very well. So even the small mannerisms and the bowing that you're making, small stuff like that, and very often saying excuse me or like sumin-san. I think it just gets, I adapt and get used to it very quickly. So I didn't really get culture shock.
So which country have you been to?
I started traveling quite late, but when I started traveling, I traveled a lot in Asia primarily. So I've been, like I said, in Korea, South Korea. I've been in China, Japan, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore. Not sure if I'm forgetting another country, but probably not. And then in Europe, that's where I'm from. I'm from the Netherlands. I've also traveled quite a lot. England, Scotland, Finland, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Hungary. Maybe I'm forgetting a few, but those are the ones that I can recall right now. I've also traveled to the US, Canada, so I've been around.
You've visited so many countries. What do you think is the best thing about Japan out of those countries?
The best thing about Japan, I think Japan is the most respectful, at least outwardly respectful. Like they might not really mean it, but at least outwardly they still are very respectful to you. So you also notice that in public, people are very considerate. They will move out of the way, they will queue up, they will say excuse me. It's like the small little things that makes me think that people in Japan are more respectful.
Do you think Japan is a cheap country?
You have to take a lot of different aspects into account, right? Like what is cheap? Like my benchmark will be the Netherlands, of course. So if you're talking about eating out, yes, Japan is a lot cheaper. If you're talking about doing groceries in general, I think it's maybe similar. Because some things are cheaper, but other things are more expensive. Like, for example, fish and meats are a little bit cheaper here, but vegetables and fruit are a lot more expensive here. If you look at wages as well, wages here are generally lower than in the Netherlands. So I think also makes it a little bit cheaper here because people have less to spend, which also pushes down the prices. Whereas in the Netherlands, people have been earning more, and inflation led to even more higher salary raises, which also led to price increases. So in general, I would say Japan is a little bit cheaper, but it can also be very expensive. There's a very big range, but you can live on a budget if you want to, or if you need to.
I thought the Netherlands is much expensive for living.
Yeah, let's say the range of being able to live cheaply and expensive is a lot bigger here in Japan. Like you can choose to live very cheaply, you can choose to live moderately or very luxurious. Whereas in the Netherlands, it's more even. Like the range between living very cheaply and living very luxuriously is a lot smaller. So that means you cannot really live very, very cheaply, but you cannot also live outrageously luxurious. But yeah, so that's the difference.
Okay, thank you. Your native language is Dutch.
Yes.
Please introduce travel in Japan to people in your country in your native language.
Oké. Hallo iedereen, ik ben Anton Zaan. Ik ben geboren in Nederland, mijn afkomst is Chinees. En ik ben nu in Japan voor de tweede keer. Lekker rondlopen, dingen uitzoeken, lekker veel eten. En ik zou zeggen, als je tijd hebt en je hebt Japan nog niet bezocht, dan kom, want iedereen is hartstikke vriendelijk en je zult geen spijt hebben.
Thank you for cooperation.
Perfect.